Hi, I'm Mark Gaylor, Sony Alpha Ambassador, and in this series of short video tutorials we're going to deep dive into Sony's new menus that we see on cameras such as the A7 IV and the Alpha 1. So without much further ado, let's get started. On the Sony Alpha full-frame cameras we have a multi-selector. Some people refer it to as the joystick. Now I'm coming into the yellow setup menu on this Alpha 7 IV on page 3, custom key dial settings, because that joystick is not only able to move something around the screen to make a selection or a focus point, we can also press that multi-selector in because it is also a custom key or custom button. So if we go in, we can see that the default setup for that multi-selector is something called focus standard. And not only is that the default for still shooting, but it is also the default for movie as well, because it usually follows the custom setup. Now if we are using that multi-selector or joystick to move a small spot AF point around the screen, we don't need to center that and move it backwards manually. We can simply depress the multi-selector in and then center that automatically. So that is a very useful feature when we're trying to move a focus point back to the central position, and that is true of the zone focus as well as the spot AF points. Okay, so one of the other useful features for that multi-selector and the focus standard default setting is if we're in continuous autofocus with the wide focus area, if we press the multi-selector in, we come out of continuous autofocus into AFS, and then we also come out of the wide focus area into the center fix. So this is a great way, without having to go into the focus areas and the focus modes, of changing the functionality of the camera. We can also use the multi-selector to move the focus area when we're using manual focus or when we're using shooting movies and we want to magnify the view. I have a separate video tutorial on the focus magnifier so that you may want to watch. But if we press the center button when we're in manual focus or in the movie mode, we'll be able to get this smaller box which shows you the magnification area when we press the center button a second time. Now we can just simply move that out. If the touch operation is on, we can actually move that with our finger, but if the touch operation is off, then we would use the multi-selector to move that over our intended subject, press the center button again, and then we'll magnify that specific area of the view. If you want to go into the settings to look at that, we will go to the AF/MF tab, page 4, Auto Magnifier in MF. Now you'll see below that on the fourth line item there, you'll see Initial Focus Magnification is still set to 1, which is the default. So instead of going straight into the magnification, you will get that orange rectangle first that we can then move into position before magnifying that part of the screen. Another useful feature for that multi-selector is when we press the FN button, we can navigate to the option that we want to change. We don't need to use the left and right side of the control wheel. We can use the faster multi-selector to get where we're going. Now we don't need to press the center button to bring up the options for that menu item. We simply need to navigate to the feature that we're looking to change. We then can change that very quickly once we've pressed the FN button. 2, we use the multi-selector to navigate there, and 3, we use the front dial on the top of the camera to change that setting. Now on some of the menu items you might be presented with submenus, in which case for a submenu to change that we'll use the rear dial. But this is a really quick way when the camera is at your eye with the viewfinder, is we can just press the FN button, navigate to the menu option, roll that front dial, and we can change from human IAF to bird IF in just a second or two. If you found this information useful, head over to patreon.com/Mark Gaylor. I'm offering an Alpha Creative Skills support channel where you can download a 500-page camera-specific ebook, and I've covered most of the late model Alpha cameras. You'll also be able to download a camset file if you own one of the later model Alphas. You'll be able to set up your entire camera with just a single file copied to a memory card. I also offer additional ebooks for people to download to help them master the skills of creative photography, and also a range of 1-hour seminars that look at the using the camera gear to the best effect, and also to build up your skills of photography in general. So head over to patreon.com/Mark Gaylor.